Tonight, under the soft hum of the freeway and the quiet glow of streetlights here in San Jose, I want to tell you a story. It's a story about a family, a food truck, and the kind of dream that doesn't glitter, but glows gently through the years. It's about how a secondhand truck, some borrowed recipes, and a mother's worn hands became our little world, rolling through the streets of California, bringing with it the taste of home. If you've ever chased a dream that felt too small for the world but too big for your heart, this one is for you. The summer of 2004 was the hottest I can remember. The kind of heat that made the asphalt shimmer, that made people walk slower and talk softer. That was the summer my parents bought the truck. It wasn't new, far from it. The paint was faded, the wheels a little tired, and the inside smelled like old metal and fried onions. But to my parents, that dented white truck was the start of something bigger. It was a chance to stand on their own 2 feet after years of washing dishes and cleaning hotel rooms. We didn't have much saved. Most of what we had came from years of my father's double shifts at a Vietnamese restaurant right here in San Jose, and my mother's long days at the nail salon. When they told me they wanted to buy a food truck, I remember laughing, not because I doubted them, but because it just felt so impossible. But in our small rented apartment, on a night heavy with the smell of pho simmering on the stove, my father looked up from a piece of paper filled with numbers and said quietly, "We can't keep working for others forever. Maybe this truck will be our new start." And somehow, that was enough. The next few weeks were a blur. We were scrubbing the truck, repainting it, fixing broken hinges, and adding little touches of home. My mother taped a small picture of the Virgin Mary near the driver's seat. My father glued a small plastic rooster on the dashboard for luck. And when it was finally done, my mother whispered, "We'll sell sandwiches. Simple, easy, like the ones from back home." She called them Vietnamese sandwiches because she wasn't sure if people would know how to say bien. Our first day was a disaster. We parked near an office district, hoping to catch the lunch crowd, but no one came. The sun burned through the window, the ice melted in the cooler, and I watched my mother's smile slowly fade as the hours passed. By 3 p.m., she sighed and said softly, "Maybe Americans don't eat Vietnamese food." But then, a man in a business shirt stopped by. He pointed at the sign and asked, "What's a Vietnamese sandwich?" My father smiled and said in his best English, "It's crunchy bread, grilled pork, pickled vegetables, a little spicy. Very good." The man ordered one, and when he took a bite, something changed. His eyes lit up. He smiled and nodded. Then he came back the next day, and the day after that, and slowly, word started to spread. By the end of the month, we had a small line at lunchtime. Some were curious, some were regulars. I remember one woman said, "It tastes like sunshine and something I can't explain." Another said, "I used to live near Little Saigon. This brings me back." Every day after school, I would join my parents, chopping carrots, slicing cucumbers, spreading pea. Our hands moved fast. Our words were few, but the rhythm was so comforting. There was laughter sometimes, especially when the radio played old Vietnamese songs. And my father would sing along, completely off. In that tiny, steaming truck, we weren't just selling food, we were selling a memory, the memory of home. But it wasn't easy. The rent for our parking spot kept rising. The city inspectors seemed to come too often. Some nights, we barely made enough to cover gas and ingredients. Still, my parents refused to quit. "Tomorrow will be better," my mother always said. And somehow, the next day always was, even if just by a little. Then, It happened on a cold December evening. We were driving home after a long day, our hands sticky with chili sauce, our clothes smelling of grilled pork. Halfway down the freeway, the engine sputtered and died. We pulled over near the edge of town. The city lights glowed faintly in the distance, and the air was heavy with silence. My father tried to fix it, his hands trembling with exhaustion. I remember sitting in the back of the truck, watching the condensation form on the window, thinking, what if this is the end? But then my mother started humming softly. It was an old song from Saigon, the one she used to sing while washing dishes. The melody filled the cold air, and slowly, I felt something shift, not outside, but inside. It wasn't about the truck anymore. It was about what it meant to Usta, us, the years of sacrifice, the laughter, the shared meals on the roadside. That night, we called a tow truck and spent the rest of the evening sitting on the curb, eating leftover sandwiches under the yellow glow of a streetlight. My father raised his can of soda like a toast and said, even if the truck dies, the dream doesn't. We laughed, even through the exhaustion, and I realized maybe home wasn't the apartment we rented, or the truck we drove. Maybe home was just wherever the three of us were, holding on together. Years later, the truck is gone. We sold it when my parents retired. But sometimes, when I drive through San Jose and catch the smell of grilled pork or pickled carrots, I swear I can still hear that old engine hum. And in that moment, I remember, our little truck didn't just serve sandwiches. It served hope, one customer at a time. If this story reminded you of your own journey of late nights, small dreams, and the warmth of family, share and subscribe to Letters from Little Saigon, because every story we tell here is a letter sent home. Thanks for listening.